Hello everyone. I'm Huairou from the Department of Sociology. And as the previous presentation has already pointed out, um, the, the mental health at universities is a pressing issue of concern. Yet the current use of well-being services might not really reflect the actual number of students in need of the service due to the persistent public mental health stigma, which discourages treatment-seeking behaviors by increasing the psychological and social barriers to disclosure. Such stigma is surely present at LSE, as the LSE SU 2016 Welfare Survey reported that almost 1/3 of the students perceive a stigma around mental health at LSE, which is sometimes characterized by a culture of shame for those who struggle. And when embedded in a competitive, high-achieving culture, mental health and well-being at LSE face unique challenges. When it comes to mental health services provision, while the counseling service remains the most referenced approach, its effectiveness could be called into question due to several factors, as limited capacity and accessibility. The proactive approach, on the other hand, is characterized by the institution actively reaching out to students with varying levels of mental well-being, while demystifying support and removing the remedial sense. The Mind Mental Health University's pilot program at LSE may represent such a proactive term. By running student-facing well-being workshops throughout the land term under the goal of raising awareness and reducing stigma around mental health. It is a part of the pilot program launched in February. The interviews with Mind personnel and 3 student participants of the workshop, as well as analysis of promotion materials and online course content from Mind, I explore 2 central questions. So first, to what extent does Mind Mental Health University initiative impact students' awareness of mental health issues and stigma around disclosure? And second, how could it better engage wider student groups to drive culture changes? In terms of findings, first of all, the interviews indicated that most participants appreciated the workshop for creating a safe and occasionally intimate space to talk about well-being issues, as well as for providing emotional reassurance by communicating that you're not the only one struggling or it is okay to be not okay. Furthermore, students who consistently attended the workshop particularly appreciate the bonds formed between the participants or between the participant and the project coordinator. However, the positive impact has a limited scope. In terms of student engagement, the workshop had a much lower turnout than expected, which might be explained by, first, a high level of time commitment required, as one single workshop duration is 2 hours minimum, while one module expected consistent attendance during a 4-week time. And second, unclear communication narratives. Whereas promotion through various channels did seem to provide a general picture of the workshops, communication may not be necessarily effective as it lacks a clear and appealing narrative as to how Mind's program is differentiated from other regular services at LSE. And finally, while it is not the main concern for participants yet, it indicated that the cultural competence of Mind's course content could be further improved. In particular, some students find that the examples or cases presented in the workshops might not address Black minority athletes or international students or LGBTQ equally much as others. So, how do we strive for a mentally healthy future? So first of all, the program should continue to create a safe and friendly space for knowledge and experience sharing. However, in terms of communication, the program will benefit from a better polishing its marketing materials to address the uniqueness of Mind's approach, and possibly in a more interactive and lively way. It should also strengthen the institutional campaign to reach wider impact. Mind could continue with the staff mental health champion trainings, as well as to possibly consider collaborating with student activist group as Mind LSE. Furthermore, in terms of student engagement, the program might need to adjust its structure, finding a balance between participant bonding and wider reach, which is facilitated by less time commitment. It should also further improve its cultural competence by accommodating different student groups. However, it is worth noting that addressing stigma and awareness alone do not guarantee mental well-being. Most effective intervention always has to be underpinned by a cohesive environment and culture that is supportive, non-judgmental, and positive about mental health. And this should be an important long-term agenda at LSE. So thank you for listening, and you can always check out the Changemakers Research Gallery for more. Thank you.